My outdoor spaces are looking a little neglected after focusing on indoor projects lately. So today I'm spending the day catching up on some fun summer garden projects. I hope you'll stick around. This is our patio area with the jasmine blooming, and it smells so good out here. But this has got to be trimmed up. We're going to trim it pretty tight so we can clean all this area up. And then for these planters, I have some mums coming back, and I think this is vinca. And I'm not really sure what all this is, but I'm just going to let it do its thing. And then I think my Kimberly Queen fern is coming back. So I'm just going to cut this away. Just kind of clean up these pots a little bit and see what those ferns do. And then I might add a little more color. I'll just see if it needs anything. And then the same thing with this pot over here. It's got a lot of green in it. There's some green from that fern coming back. The mum. And I think there's some creeping Jenny right there. So we may not have to do a whole lot for these pots. Just clean them up and may have to add a little bit more color. But we just got to get everything cleaned up out here. Everything's just so dirty from the winter time and the pollen, so really needs a good cleaner. I am so happy at how these flowers have done in these containers on the patio. I have Kimberly Queen fern, vinca, creeping Jenny, and some mums in these containers, and they get a lot of sun and they just love it here in this space. I've shared on here before how much I love the green and white combination. It's a tried and true recipe formula that I have used year after year, and I keep going back to it because I love the look so much. So here I'm just cleaning the pots up really well and just making sure that everything's ready for the summer season. And while I clean up these containers, my husband is trimming back the jasmine. I absolutely love this jasmine on this pergola, but it has gotten so overgrown and it needs to be trimmed back and really cleaned up. There's also a Peggy Martin rose on the other side of this pergola, so they just all grow together. So we're just going to trim all of it up and get it nice and neat. And another tip in the garden is if you want your mums to bloom for the fall season, cut them back before July 4th. So I'm going to go around and cut some of my mums back. And these were just mums that I had in pots for decoration during the fall season. And then I just potted them here. This tall tree here is faux. And it just lives there. And then I just plant flowers at the base of it. I have some creeping Jenny and these mums that have absolutely taken off. And they look beautiful. And it's sad to cut off their blooms. But you will be happy in the fall when they come back beautiful with blooms. So I'm going to do that, just go around the house and do that and get those ready for the fall season. So after I get through cutting my flowers back, I add this to them. It helps with the blooming process, and it's good for a lot of different flowers. So I'm just going to add this to the planters where I cut back some of the flowers and see if that helps with the blooming. I'm also going to add it to some hydrangeas and some roses. So for good things about it, so I'm just going to add it and see what it does. This fertilizer is so easy to use, and I'm excited to see how it improves my flowers. I just sprinkle a little bit around the roots in my containers, and the directions say that you can use this every 3 months. So I'm going to keep a record of when I put this on my plants and be sure to use it every 3 months so that I get the best flowers from my plants. And then after I've gone around and just sprinkled it on the roots, be sure to water in the fertilizer really well. A great time to use this fertilizer would be right before it rained, and that way it would eliminate a step. And we did get some rain on the day that I did this, but it wasn't enough to ensure that the fertilizer was really watered in well. So I went ahead and did that with the hose. But if you are thinking about using it, be sure to water it well. The Limelights are looking so good planted up beside the house. And I did a little, I guess you could call it experiment. But this one, I pruned it back in the early spring, and it already had some growth on it. And so I didn't prune this one back because I thought maybe with the new growth I shouldn't do it, so I wasn't real sure what to do. But look how much bigger this one is compared to that one. So I will be pruning them both back next spring because it helps them. But I will probably do it a little bit earlier. But these have so many blooms on them. They're not quite ready yet, but you know, in last week's video I did go ahead and pick some and put them on our tablescape, and they're doing really well. And I can't wait till these just pop open and I can use them inside. And these are so pretty dried. So I do have a video about drying hydrangeas. It's a pretty easy process, and they are perfect for fall and winter decoration. So I will link that video in case you want to check that out and dry use some hydrangeas for the fall and winter season. This boxwood is not looking so good, so I think I'm going to replant this pot because it fits so well in the corner of this deck with this lavender topiary that I picked up from Trader Joe's, and I need to get it in a pot because it is starting to wilt and not look so good. So I need to get that replanted. This lavender topiary has done well in this pot, and it loves this space. It has a lot of new growth on it, so now I'm just trimming it back to give it that topiary shape. Now this is a new thing for me, so if you have any tips on growing topiaries, drop them all below in the comments. I love to read your hints and tips on keeping flowers alive. And for this, I need all the help I can get because I have never really done this before. But I did read that one of the biggest tips is to let it dry completely out before you water it. And that way it likes that environment a little bit better. So I'm trying to do that. And just giving it the correct shape is a little bit of a challenge for me. So I'm just going to work at this and try to keep it alive and keep it as happy as I can. And I'll keep y'all posted on what happens with this cute little topiary. Now I need to plant some Kimberly Queen ferns to add to the deck. I like to add ferns on either side of the door. I think they just add that southern look to our home. And I start out by adding water bottles to our planters, and it keeps you from using so much dirt, and it keeps the planters from being so heavy. I love this tip, and it just helps so much with my gardening, so maybe you can use that for when you plant new flowers. It's just a great little tip. And so I'm just going to add potting soil to these pots. I got these at Lowe's several years ago. They have really held up well. I have not been able to find them online, but if I find anything similar, I'll be sure to post it below for you, just in case you're interested in these pots. But the Kimberly Queen ferns, they like the full intense sun, and I do have a video on how I keep my ferns green all summer long, so I'll link that video for you in case you want to check that out. Since we have lots of trees in our backyard and lots of leaves, my husband just likes to get the blower and just blow the jasmine and all the leaves out of it. It's a fun process to watch, but it just cleans it up and gets it looking a lot better without all the leaves. And now he's just cutting away the large branches of the Lady Banks rose. They have gotten way out of hand, but I'm happy about that because that means that it's growing, it's got new growth, and it's just really beautiful in the spring when it blooms. And so we're just trying to get it cleaned up so that it doesn't look so messy on this pergola, but it was hard work to get it all cleaned up, tidied up, but we are so happy with how it looks now. I found these fun buntings at Hobby Lobby, and I knew they would be the perfect addition to the pergola. I've never done anything like this, but I love how it turned out. And we just hung it on either side of this pergola. It brings in a lot of color and a lot of festivity for the July 4th celebration. And my husband just nailed it up, one in the middle and then 2 nails on each side. And I love how it looks. And they're just taking a short break because we've been out in the hot sun all day working. But I love how it's coming together, and we have a lot more work to do, but we have come so far in this little space. I keep this under the pergola, and it holds our cushions for our chairs, and they stay nice and dry in here, and I just store them in there for the season. I need to pull them out, but it's sprinkling rain right now, so I'm just gonna leave them in there until the rain stops. I do need to clean it up here being outside, but it really does a good job storing cushions or whatever else you need to store outside that you don't want to get wet. And I mean, technically these could get wet because they are outdoor cushions, but I like to keep them looking as good as possible, and so for the winter season I do keep them stored away. I should have already brought them out, but I haven't done any work out here, so I am going to bring them out when it stops raining and get this space looking great for July 4th and the rest of summer. I think this is the 3rd year that we've had this patio set, and it has held up so well out here in the elements year round. We have been so happy with this set. It's pretty comfortable, and it is extremely budget friendly. We were gifted this set early on at the beginning of our channel, and so I have a video explaining it and showing close-ups and all that I'll link for you in case you're interested. But it is a wonderful patio set, and they were actually given at different times, but they match and they look so good together. And like I said, they have held up really well, and we are super happy with them. I am so happy with how much work we got done in this backyard area. We have several other projects that we are working on, so if you like this type of content, be sure to subscribe to the channel and check back because I have lots more outdoor content coming your way with projects that we are working on. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope each and every one of you have a happy and wonderful July 4th. I look forward to seeing all of y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.